Hello folks, Professor Bourne here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps of writing works cited entries for a couple of different sources. Now, we're starting over here on the left with a handout that I provided for you for writing works cited entries for web pages. And what we know about MLA is that you're asked to provide 7 different things inside of these works cited entries. You are looking to provide the name of the author. You're looking to provide the title of the specific web page or document that they wrote, as well as the title of the overall website which has published this document. You're asked to find a publisher, the company that owns the copyright for the website, as well as the date that this web page was published. After that, we need a URL, and we end with the date of access. Now, it's important to note that you're not going to find all of this information for every website. The only pieces of information that you are guaranteed to find are these 4: the titles, the URL, and the date of access. The titles you're going to find just because of the way that websites are coded. You're going to find the URL because it's a website, and you'll have the date of access because that's the day that you looked up the website and you're on a device which tells you, well, the date. But we are going to need to have strategies for what happens with our entries when we don't know the author, when we don't know the publisher, and when we don't know the date of publication. Let's start working with a couple of specific sources, and we will figure out those elements as we go. Now, the first source that I want to work with, wow, thank you, popover ad, is from the website Forbes. I'm going to put it over here on my left. This is a site which presents some statistics on student loan debt in 2019. Now, already I can see right over here the name of the author. It goes last name, comma, first name. And now we need to find the 2 titles. The title of the thing that Zach wrote right here, as well as the title that this website is on. Now, we can get a bit of a hint of that from the URL. The overall title for the website is typically here between the www and the .com. And the title for the specific thing we're looking at is usually tucked in towards the end of the URL. But we're not going to write it in the way that it's written in the URL. We're going to have the URL later in our entry. We're going to grab this title, where it appears in big letters at the top of his page. So we come right over here. We're going to put this title in quotation marks. Make sure that capitalization is standardized, and we're good. For the title of the website, we're going to grab this word Forbes. We're going to put it in italics, and we're going to write it the way they put it in their logo at the top of the screen. Good so far? All right. Let's think about the publisher. The publisher is the name of the company that owns the copyright. Usually on a web page, that means we need to scroll all the way down past all of their advertisements, all the way to the bottom, and see if there is a spot where it gives us a publisher. And wow, this is really annoying. Are you seeing this? Like, it's kind of letting me see the publisher at the end, and then it immediately pops in some new content. I'm seeing Forbes Media LLC briefly before it disappears. Forbes Media is my publisher. And hopefully I can make it back up to the top of the page. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now, here's the thing about the publisher. If it's basically telling you the same thing as the title of the website, don't put it in there. MLA says to skip it if it's just the same as the website title. I'm not going to have Forbes, comma, Forbes. That's not helping. When you don't have a publisher, or when the publisher presents the same text as your overall website title, we skip it and we go to the next thing. We're worried about date of publication. All right. Date of publication, I do have that. That was published on 25 Feb 2019. MLA asks you to use European-style dates on this page. Day of the month, abbreviated month, year. Then we need the URL. That's a nice little copy and paste job, though because reasons, we delete the HTTPS part. Alright. Go, put a little period there. Access date. What's today's date? May 1st. 1 May 2019. Voila. We have a correct works cited entry. Now this one was kind of a straightforward website. We had all of our information that MLA asked us for. In fact, we skipped one because it was repetitive. The second site that I want to work with today is the kind of source that's going to be pretty commonly showing up in your essays. It's a source that doesn't tell you the name of the author. This is a very common thing that happens with government sources. Notice that this is a .gov website right here. Now, in terms of our process of writing a works cited entry, this actually does not complicate our process very much. When you don't have an author, and you're writing a works cited entry, skip it, and provide the title of the web page. So, we're looking over at this website. We've got a page called Fast Facts, and the title of the overall website is something here about IES and NCES. We'll figure that out in a moment. Right now, we're going to say this is a web page entitled Fast Facts. Now, government organizations can be a little complicated because they'll often indicate like several different hierarchies of branches of government that they're in. And you kind of want the one that's most specific to this project, and then kind of the overall one that they're under. So the text at the top of the screen that's spelled out is National Center for Education Statistics, and that's repeated right here. So that's what I'm going to put next inside of italics for my overall title of the website. All right. Now, once again, in terms of publisher, like who owns the copyright for this, I'm going to indicate that it's part of the U.S. Department of Education. I'm taking my cue from right here, the nces.ed.gov. The ad there is education. They're indicating that they're part of the U.S. Department of Education. Now, do we have a day when this was published? I don't see anything at the top. I don't see any kind of a year at the bottom. All right. So, when I'm trying to find the date of publication, sometimes I can't find it. When I can't find it, you're going to like this, I skip it. So, we're going to move straight to the URL. Paste it in, trim out the HTTPS, let Word went to comment, and we're ready. For access date, same as before, 1 May 2019. Alright, so hopefully watching this process has convinced you that writing works cited entries for a web page presents some unexpected challenges, particularly in the form of websites that don't tell you what you want to know, but that MLA's process for dealing with these challenges is actually pretty straightforward. In most circumstances, when you can't find information, you skip it, and you provide the information that you can. I'm available for help with specific works cited entries that are causing you problems, and we'll be workshopping a lot of these as a class as we go forward this semester. Good luck.